My girlfriend, the director, knows I am bound to a system. If her favorability score for me doesn't reach 100, I will be erased by the system. I endured her cold gaze. After raising the favorability score to 99 over 5 years, she handed me a file. If you were willing to go to jail for me, then donate your heart to Fang Yuan. I looked at the papers in my hand, staring at Michai in disbelief. Why do you have to do this? Even if you don't agree, you can't leave me. You have a mission from the system. It's not yet complete. You can only continue to curry my favor. If you obediently agree, I will take pity on you. The favorability score for you will also increase. Why not be a little smarter? Smarter? I laughed until I cried. MICI is indeed very intelligent. Her intellect is extraordinary. It helped her become a top cardiothoracic surgeon at a young age. Therefore, even with emotions, she converts them into numbers, as if conducting an experiment, using a cold measuring cup to control it, using a sliver of hope to force me to give in time and time again. At this moment, I understood. It's not that Michai doesn't like me. She's just too cold, too heartless, that's all. Even my own daughter, whom I raised myself for the past 8 years, is exactly like her mother. If Dad doesn't agree to give Uncle Fang Yuan a new heart, I won't acknowledge you as my father anymore. The hearts of this mother and daughter are like pieces of iron that can never be warmed. Since it's like this, I don't want to waste another 8 years. I spoke calmly. I get it now. If you want my heart, I will give it to you. At the same time, I also secretly told the system, after this body dies, change the target of my mission directly. Master, are you sure you want to change the target of your mission? After the change, you and Michai will no longer be connected, but you will be reborn with a new identity. It's good to be certain we're no longer connected. I don't want to pursue Michai anymore. A look of surprise appeared on Mikai's face. She didn't expect me to agree so quickly. She frowned slightly, feeling that something wasn't right about me, but she didn't think much of it. Go inside and rest first. As soon as I stepped through the door, my daughter, Qian, threw something in front of me, arrogantly saying, "Bad dad, fix this for me." On the table was a model car. Judging by the preference, it belongs to Fang Yuan's son. I couldn't help but sneer. This mother and daughter are so affectionate. Even his son is beloved. Qian saw me laugh. She frowned in annoyance. I want to see it finished by tomorrow. Fine, Dad will fix this right now. I turned away coldly. I don't know how. This car model is too complicated. Fixing it isn't something that can be done overnight. I was just freezing outside for 3 hours. My limbs are numb. I can't do it. Qian got angry. Dad, why are you so useless? You don't know anything. I already promised Brother Zichao. I'll give him the fixed one tomorrow. You have to finish it today. My voice was very cold. Qian, I am your father, not your servant. I am rarely strict with Qian. Qian inherited her mother's intelligence. I hardly needed to worry about her studies, so most of the time, I played a supporting role, taking care of Qian's daily life, from small things like what she ate and wore, to big things like her health. I did everything with meticulous care, but even so, Qian was never satisfied with me. She was used to my devotion. Then she started making demands as a matter of course, justifying why I had to do things for her. But her, I used to tolerate everything, but now, I don't want to tolerate it anymore. Mikai came out from the kitchen. She told Qian, let your dad rest tonight. You can do it tomorrow. At this moment, Michai seemed to have returned to the role of a good wife. She placed a hot water bag in my lap and tried to take my hand. Why get angry at a child? I recoiled slightly, avoiding her gesture. My voice was very calm. I am not angry at her. I am just informing Qian. From now on, I won't be her full-time father anymore. Mitai's hand froze in midair, and finally, she withdrew it. In the silence, there was an atmosphere that made her awkward, an indescribable sense of loss. Mikai frowned. She had never seen me like this. In her imagination, I should have been screaming, blaming and resenting her, and finally giving in. But now I skipped all the steps, calmly accepting everything, as if I didn't care at all. Let's eat first. Michai changed the subject. She brought a pot of fish soup from the kitchen. She ladled a bowl and gave it to me. Have some soup to warm up. How don't you like fish soup the most? I looked at the milky white soup. The fish meat was tender. The broth was delicious. It was the dish Mikai made best. It's just that a bitter taste rose in my heart. The one who likes fish soup is Fang Yuan. Michai paused for a moment, then said casually, you two are brothers. Your tastes must be similar. I laughed self-deprecatingly. My tastes and Fang Yuan's are completely different. But Michai only remembered Fang Yuan's preferences. Initially, to better complete the system's mission, I had set my identity as Fang Yuan's twin brother. I lowered my head and said, I hate drinking fish soup the most. I hate the fishy smell in the soup. It makes me sick. Taking a sip is like drinking dishwater. Michai didn't stop her movements. She just said calmly, eating fish is good for the heart. My hand holding the spoon tightened. So that's what she cared about. I didn't say anything more. I forced myself to finish the bowl of fish soup. Then I went back to the room. Married for 8 years. Shay and I slept in separate rooms because Michai said she was a light sleeper. So I voluntarily slept in the living room. I slept like that for 8 years. This was just an excuse not to share a bed with me, right? But by now, I no longer cared. The next morning, I slept until my head was groggy. I was in a daze. I don't know when. A loud banging sound came from outside the door. Dad, you bad dad. Why aren't you up yet to make me breakfast? My body felt heavy. I struggled to get up, only to realize it was already 8 o'clock. Qian goes to school at 7:30. I used to always wake up before 6 to prepare breakfast and her school supplies. I opened the door. Qian kicked my calf. The 8-year-old girl already had some strength. The pain made me stumble back a few steps, holding onto the door frame, just so I wouldn't fall. Where's your mom? The living room was empty. There was no one in the room either. Qian said matter-of-factly, Mom went to work. Mom's work is very busy, unlike you who stays home all day doing nothing. You're even too lazy to get up and cook for me. Mik was indeed very busy. She was the best cardiothoracic surgeon at the top provincial hospital. She worked to the point of forgetting to eat or sleep, completely neglecting her child and family. When Qian was little and got sick, I took her to the doctor's office by myself, running up and down. I was sweating profusely from exhaustion. Qian finally recovered, but then I got sick. When Michai found out, she just said coldly, next time something like this happens, I remember to call the maid. The maid, she said it so lightly, she has never taken care of our child. Of course, she doesn't know what it's like when a child is sick, how worried a parent can be. A maid can only do chores. As for companionship and care, how could I trust a maid with that? Michai doesn't understand anything. She only knows how to blame me for being ungrateful, unable to endure hardship, and now Qian thinks the same way. Uncle Fang Yuan is right. Dad is just a useless slacker. Not a good father at all. A child's words are blunt and hurt the most. I look at the child. I raise myself. When she was little, she used to hug my neck, sweetly calling me dad. She made a firm promise that she would be daddy's little sweetheart forever. How did she become like this? I laughed bitterly. Qian, can't you see that dad is sick? Only then did Qian notice that I didn't look well. She frowned. Her gaze was as cold as Miche. There was no concern, only annoyance. So stupid. Why get sick at a time like this? Someone who can't even manage their own health doesn't deserve to be my father. After saying that, Qian put on her school bag and left. I stood at the door, feeling dizzy and lightheaded. I slowly held onto the door frame and sat down. The door slammed shut. I stood there, thinking bitterly, soon, we will no longer be father and daughter. I swallowed 2 cold pills. I put on a mask and went out. I took a taxi to the company. The team members had been waiting for me for a long time. CEO Yun, you're finally here. This quarter's main design hasn't been decided yet. We're waiting for your approval. I took the design drafts from my assistant. I was an art student. After graduating, I joined a fashion company as a designer. A few years later, I founded my own fashion brand. Although it's not a big company, it's my life's work. I place great importance on the quality of the designs. However, this time among the submitted designs, there were a few terrible ones. I frowned. Why would the company hire an intern of this caliber? The assistant's expression was awkward. He stammered, these were drawn by your younger brother, Fang Yuan. A few months ago, Fang Yuan got divorced and brought his son back to the country. Because he couldn't find a suitable job, my parents told me to give Fang Yuan a director position in the company. Fang Yuan's skill level, let alone a director, doesn't even meet the standard of an intern. Of course I didn't agree, but I couldn't resist the constant pressure and persuasion from the whole family. They even came to the company to cause trouble. In the end, I had no choice. I arranged a designer position for him. Who knew he would submit this kind of stuff? Get rid of these drafts. I told the assistant, whatever he submits in the future, just go through the motions. I don't bring it to me. It's annoying. After that, I took out the designs I had been working on from my bag. Take this and discuss it with the other designers. See if it's good enough for the main design. The assistant took one look. His eyes lit up immediately. CEO Yun, you're being too modest. This is definitely good enough. The skill level is obvious to everyone. I took it as him just flattering me. I turned to handle other work. As for the rest, after the heart transplant surgery, this body will surely die. After I die, the system will give me a new body. This company probably can't continue to operate either. After all, it's the fruit of many years of hard work. I plan to hand it over to my closest brother. But before that, I will finish the rest of my work. Stand my post to the very end. Busy until 2 p.m. My stomach rumbled. I just remembered I hadn't eaten all day. I was about to go down to eat. The office door was pushed open. It was my father, Yun Fu, looking travel-worn and weary. Seeing me, his eyes sharpened. So you really are here. After speaking, he quickly walked over. He gave a brief command, follow me to the hospital. I didn't move. The person in front of me is my biological father, the same person who kicked me out of the Yun family home. Fang Yuan and I are both sons of the Yun family, but in our parents' hearts, there is only Fang Yuan. In their hearts, Fang Yuan is the obedient and understanding son, while I am the malicious and cunning one. So when Fang Yuan falsely accused me of stealing, no matter how I explained it, it was useless. Even when Fang Yuan plotted to ruin my reputation, even implicating the Yun family, they never doubted Fang Yuan. They just pushed all the blame onto me. Back then, he was the one who stood up in front of countless media cameras and announced that the Yun family only had one son. That was Fang Yuan. Yun Mo has been kicked out of the Yun family. His words and actions have nothing to do with the Yun family. Everyone laughed at me, a pitiful wretch abandoned by his family. Now he appears before me again. Xiao Yuan's condition has worsened. You're going to donate blood for him. In the office, it was dead silent. I really wanted to ask, after 7 years, how he could stand here so righteously and say those words. What does his life or death have to do with me? Yun Fu's face turned pale. He is your biological brother. I laughed bitterly. Have you forgotten, father? Years ago, you kicked me out of the Yun family home. I no longer have any relatives. No younger brother. Yun Fu's expression stiffened. The words he had spoken years ago finally came back to hit him like a boomerang. The man who had always been so proud bowed his head. He pleaded. The doctor said, Xiao Yuan's heart function is very poor, coupled with anemia. Only blood transfusions can sustain him. A heart donor hasn't been found yet. You have to come with me to donate blood. I looked at him like that, and only felt a bitter coldness in my heart. Moreover, I had never seen Father Yun plead like this for anyone. Fang Yuan truly is the one, at the very center of his heart. But it's not just him. Didn't Misai also gradually start to treat Fang Yuan like a religion? Thinking of this, the corners of my eyes became a little wet. Fine. I agree, but I have one condition. I want all of the Yun family's shares that are in Fang Yuan's hands. Father Yun's eyes turned cold. Yun Mo, don't push your luck. This is the condition. If you don't agree, then forget it. After a long while, Father Yun conceded. On the way to the hospital, I felt my body, which had been starving all day, start to get dizzy and see stars. Without giving me a moment to rest, Father Yun dragged me to the door of the blood collection room. The nurse saw my pale face and kindly asked, Do you have low blood sugar? Do you need to rest for a bit? Eat something. But Yun Fu impatiently urged, Hurry up. This private hospital was built with Yun Fu's investment. His word in this hospital is law. The nurse was scared and didn't dare to delay. She hurriedly prepared the blood collection equipment. When the needle went in, I felt a wave of dizziness. A bad cold combined with low blood sugar from not eating all day. They had only drawn half the amount. When I already found it hard to breathe, my head uncontrollably tilted to one side. The nurse was terrified. Crying, she said, We can't take any more. Something bad will happen if we keep taking it. Van Fu's expression was extremely ugly. He was also afraid something would really happen. Not because he was afraid I would die, but because he was afraid that after I was gone, Fuang Vien would have no more blood to use. All right, this much will have to do for now. I was taken to the break room. I had completely lost consciousness, in a daze. I don't know how much time had passed. A woman stormed in and slapped me hard across the face, crying in extreme anguish. It's all your fault. Why are you pretending to faint? What good is such a small amount of blood? I was awakened by the pain and saw my mother's face, swollen from crying. She grabbed me and hit me with her fists. Why did I get pregnant with 2 of you back then? If only it had just Xiao Vian, how great that would have been. You are a bloodsucker. Even in the womb, you stole Xiao Vian's nutrients. He was born with a heart condition. Now he needs a little blood from you, and you're here putting on a show for everyone. Do you really want your younger brother to die? The vicious words pierced my heart. I had never cried before, but now, a cold liquid flowed from the corners of my eyes. I had heard such words countless times growing up. Just because Fuang Vian and I are twins. Just because Fuang Vian's heart didn't develop properly. So everything was my fault. It was I who stole Fuang Vian's life source. No one in my family loved me. My wife and daughter also hated me. I was born with an original sin. Slaps landed on my face one after another, until a hand shielded me. Mother Van was stopped by Father Van. Father Van was also very surprised to see. M.I. Kai, why are you here? M.I. Say I simply said, I heard Fuang Vian's condition wasn't good, so I came to see. Everyone, don't worry too much. I've already found a new heart source for Fuang Vian. He will recover soon. Mother Van, who had just been crying, immediately stopped. Really? Where did the heart source come from? Xiao Vian can really be saved, Mi Chai affirmed again. I have some private sources. I will perform the surgery myself then. Fuang Vian will definitely be discharged from the hospital safely. Hearing the 4 words, perform the surgery myself, my heart trembled. Then I laughed bitterly, not surprised at all. After Mother Van left, M.I.K. felt the burning temperature in my palm and took me to a hospital room, then thoughtfully prepared a blanket and hot water. I lay on the hospital bed. M.I.AI took a thermometer to measure my temperature. Seeing it was 41 degrees, she furrowed her brows tightly. You have a fever. Why didn't you call me? I curled up, speaking sarcastically. A great department head like you is so smart. A benevolent and skillful doctor. You probably didn't expect that. Someone who stood in the corridor at under 5 degrees for 3 hours would get sick, right? She just didn't care. She didn't care about me. So she wasn't worried about my health condition. What she cared about, from beginning to end, was only the heart in my body. Mikai paused her actions. Then she looked remorseful and said, I am sorry. Her voice was very quiet. I thought it was an auditory hallucination. Mishai sat down by the bed and took my burning hot hand. She said softly, I am sorry. I promise you, after this, I will definitely treat you well. I will give you whatever you want. I will truly love you. But I didn't look at her and secretly pulled my hand back. I was on an IV drip all night. I only started feeling better the next day. Michai didn't go back to work at the hospital, but stayed here. She brought a few pills. The medicine was very bitter, and I grimaced as I took it. Mei Tai brought a glass of orange juice. How long will it take for your illness to get better? Mei Tai replied, usually, a common cold gets better in 7 days. You have a rather high fever. It might take about 10 days. So, will this delay the heart transplant for Fang Yuan? I said this very casually, as if mentioning something insignificant. Mei Tai looked at me with a complicated expression. Suddenly, she seemed to not understand me at all. She didn't answer right away. I continued, not getting over the cold won't affect it, right? After all, I won't be alive after you take my heart out. Whether I have a cold or not doesn't matter. These words were too cruel, but I said them very calmly, like a cold knife. For some reason, Mei Tai felt very uncomfortable. She insisted, I will make sure you are healthy when you go into the operating room. Healthy on the operating table, and then quietly go to my grave? I don't understand the meaning of her insistence. Outside the hospital room, Father Yun walked in holding a share transfer agreement. He threw the folder hard in my face. His voice was very cold. As you wish. All of Little Yuan's shares are now yours. Half of this is mine, and the other half is Fang Yuan's. Together, that's 20%. Enough for a seat on the board of directors. I was very satisfied. I signed it. Then, after everyone had left, I called my lawyer. I want to entrust my estate to you. The lawyer and my friend Keizhen arrived together, seeing me lying on the bed with a pale face. This is outrageous. They are a bunch of bastards. How could they treat you like this? I am going to settle the score with them. I stopped him. During the time I was trying to win over Mei Tai, I didn't meet many good people, but Keizhen was an exception. He always stood firmly on my side. No matter what happened to me, he was always the first one to help. Keizhen was also the second person, besides Mei Tai, to know that I had a system. At this point, I told him the whole plan to change my target to Keizhen, which means, you can finally get away from that terrible woman, Mei Tai. I nodded, and Keizhen stood up happily. That's great. The system finally did the right thing. You should have left Mei Tai sooner. Let her suffer. I laughed because of him. Then I looked at the lawyer. I want to give all the Yun family shares in my possession, as well as the entire company, to Keizhen. As for the cash, please donate it to children in mountainous regions. The lawyer wasn't surprised after hearing this, but he still asked as a matter of procedure, what about your family? I am not leaving them a single cent. After hearing this, Keizhen's eyes turned red. I am just holding it for you temporarily. I'll wait for you to come back with your new identity. I'll return these things to you then. You have to come back. I nodded. From outside the door, Mei Tai walked in. Come back for what? Her eyes were very guarded. I don't know how much she heard. I quickly explained. I was telling Keizhen that after I recover, I am going to travel abroad for a while. He told me to come back with a gift for him. After hearing this, Mei Tai showed no expression. She was just suspicious for a moment. Then she returned to her usual composure. Remember to go for your checkup later. I breathed a sigh of relief. Mei Tai personally took me for the checkup. I knew this checkup was to see if my heart was suitable for donation. I happened to run into Fang Yuan. He was in a wheelchair. Under the thin patient gown was a frail body. His face was pale. He would cough a few times occasionally. Just sitting there made people pity him. Brother, I heard from sister-in-law. You all found a heart donor for me. Fang Yuan suddenly spoke up. You're happy for me too, right? I looked at those dark eyes. So bright, so innocent, hiding such deep malice underneath. Does he really not know anything? I smiled happily, with a hint of sincerity. I'm very happy. Seeing no angry reaction as expected, Fang Yuan seemed dissatisfied. He casually raised his hand. That's great. You always had a prejudice against me before. I thought you didn't want me to have the surgery. On the ring finger of that hand, the men's couple ring was very prominent. It was a pair with the ring on Mei Sei's hand. I didn't pretend not to see it. My gaze rested on it. Fang Yuan saw this. He quickly took off the ring. Sorry. This was a gift from sister-in-law when I returned to the country. It has no other meaning. I originally wore it on my middle finger, but my hand swelled up because of my illness. I could only wear it on my ring finger. You don't blame me, do you? After speaking, Fang Yuan coughed violently. Mei Sei came out of the examination room. She immediately saw this scene. She walked over quickly. She pulled Fang Yuan behind her with one hand and snapped at me. What are you doing to Fang Yuan? He's a patient right now. Why are you giving him a hard time? I looked at the person with such volatile emotions and laughed self-deprecatingly. It turns out that no matter how cold and rational a person is, they can also lose control. Just because Fang Yuan coughed a little, she didn't even bother to ask for the reason. She subconsciously cast me as the villain. This is my wife, the person I once loved with all my heart. It felt like something was squeezing my heart until I couldn't breathe. Fang Yuan was still coughing. Sister-in-law, don't be angry. Brother didn't do anything. He just saw the ring on my hand and said a few words. Don't blame him for this. Mei Sei's expression darkened even more. The transplant date has been set. You're just causing trouble here. These little tricks are useless. I won't let anything affect Fang Yuan's surgery. She thought I didn't want to donate my heart, so I was deliberately provoking Fang Yuan's condition. But I didn't explain anything. After all, explaining would be useless. You can't reason with someone who won't listen. I just silently turned and went back to my hospital room. I closed the door. Now, only my design sketches are my companions. I like to draw. I also like to design. My biggest wish these past years, he was to see the clothes I designed on the runway once. Fortunately, I received an invitation for next year's fashion show. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to wait until next year. So I want to finish the design sketches before the surgery. Consider it a last wish fulfilled. While I was making adjustments, drowsiness overcame me. I was a little tired. I casually placed my sketchbook beside the bed and fell asleep. When I woke up, I heard a rustling sound by my ear. Then I saw a little boy holding a pencil, scribbling all over my design sketches. The original design was now completely ruined. I immediately sat up. I grabbed the boy's hand and yelled, "What are you doing?" The boy was startled. He looked up, and his face was 70% similar to Fang Yuan's. It was Fang Yuan's son. Fang Zikao. You're a bad person. You made my dad sick. I have to punish you for my dad. Tu Xue cried and shouted loudly. His voice was shrill, like fingernails scratching on glass. I saw it all. My life's work was destroyed. My blood boiled. I no longer cared if he was a child or not. Who let you touch my notebook? Didn't your parents teach you not to touch other people's things without permission? Tu Xue cried even louder. He kept crying for help. The bad man is hitting me. Help me, Mikai. Help me. Grandpa. Just a moment later, Van Fu and Michai rushed in together. They pushed me away forcefully. The two of them were very strong. I hit my head hard on the headboard. My head throbbed with pain. My vision went dark. Qian saw Tu Xue's tear-streaked face and his wrist red from being pulled. She immediately turned and punched me twice. Bad dad. Why did you hurt brother Tu Xue? Tu Xue sobbed, he said aggrievedly. Tu Xue saw this uncle sleeping, so I wanted to cover him with a blanket. Tu Xue doesn't know what he's angry about. He wanted to hit Tu Xue. Tu Xue was very scared. Tu Xue was almost beaten to death. Hearing these words, Van Fu became furious. Van Mac, do you have any restraint? How could you lay a hand on a child? I said nothing. I lowered my head and touched the cut on my head. There was blood. Van Fu didn't notice at all. He angrily scolded. Is this how I taught you? How could you lay a hand on a child? My face was pale. I looked up. If I say I didn't do it, would you believe me, father? Would any of you believe me? My chatty voice was very cold. Van Mac. Stop lying all the time. We all saw it clearly. It was as if she was reminding me. This wasn't the time to be stubborn, but to apologize properly. I chuckled softly. I looked at the child who was crying, while secretly glancing in this direction. Fine. Then I hit him. No one believes me anyway. Van Fu was enraged. He raised his hand violently. MITI quickly stopped him. I knew she was just worried about my heart being damaged. After the surgery date was set, I couldn't have any flaws. MITI pushed the furious Van Fu out. Only she and Qian remained in the room. MITI said coldly, it's just a few pieces of paper. Why do you lack so much restraint? Is it worth it? My body jolted. Just a few pieces of paper? That was my work. My life's work. It was something I loved. From Michai's mouth, it was just a few pieces of paper. I suddenly found it laughable. I laughed until tears fell. It turns out that in these people's hearts, I was only in a position that wasn't worth a dime. I clutched my chest. I felt a real pain. It turns out that when sadness reaches its peak, it really can make your heart ache. Seeing this, Mikai, expression changed slightly. She rushed to support me. What's wrong? Don't get emotional. Take a deep breath. It's just a small thing. Is it worth it? Let's just drop it. Take a deep breath. You tell me to take a deep breath? I couldn't take it anymore. I forcefully pushed her away. All of you, get out. I didn't dare to provoke me further. She turned and left, but her expression was very unpleasant. That night, my emotions had calmed down a bit. I immediately brought an announcement. The surgery date was set for 10 days later. I didn't react at all. I continued. Originally, I planned to wait until you recovered, but you've been too uncooperative. Continuing like this will only make things more unstable. 10 days from now is the best time. I just calmly nodded, as if accepting everything. Expression softened a little. After a moment of silence, she said, I will perform the surgery myself. After the anesthesia, you won't feel any pain. I heard a rare hint of concern in her voice. I looked up, revealing my pale and weak face. Should I thank you? MICI was speechless. I was very thin now. My cheeks were sunken. My lips were pale. I lay on the bed. A final trace of unwillingness lingered in my eyes. Mikai, have you ever thought, what if I really die after the surgery? Michai was startled. She stood frozen on the spot. For the first time, she felt a sense of panic. But Mikai quickly calmed down. Reason told her reality is proven, that before the mission is complete, you won't really die. So, no. The last bit of unwillingness in my eyes completely vanished. They gradually became gloomy. This was my last attempt. Michai, in this world, there's no fool who, knowing their heart is being trampled on, would still naively offer it up completely. At least, I am not that person. From now on, Yunmo will completely disappear from your life. The hospital room was completely silent. Mikai looked at the tear in the corner of my eye. Her chest suddenly filled with a throbbing pain, but she quickly suppressed that pain. Reason told her this was only temporary. Once the surgery was over, everything would pass. Then she would make it up to me. We would be like before. I would come back to her. I would live again. There was still a chance for everything. After that, I spoke less. Every day, I would either draw or sit looking out the window. The last 10 days, it was just like counting down the days. I no longer had any attachment to what was in front of me. MICAI put aside all her work. She stayed at the hospital. She took me to do all sorts of tests, blood draws, taking medicine. My hands were covered in needle marks, with no good spots left. I didn't make a sound. My endless silence made her worried. When we passed by Fang Yuan's room, Father Yun questioned me with a complicated expression. What are you doing? It is a simple cold require so many tests? Are you deliberately putting on a show for us, trying to make us pity you? I didn't explain. These days, my face grew paler and paler. My whole body had become much thinner. My eyes never looked in his direction. An inexplicable anger rose in Father Yun's heart. Since you were young, you were never like me. Deep thoughts, vicious schemes. These things only make us hate you more and more. If you know what's good for you, get discharged soon. Get out of our sight. As he spoke, Yun Fu pushed me hard. My already frail body couldn't stand firm. I stumbled and fell. The reports in my hand scattered everywhere. Yun Fu was startled. What are you pretending for? I just gave you a light push. Are you trying to extort your own father now? I didn't explain. I gritted my teeth and endured the pain. I bent down to pick up the scattered papers. They were all my various test results. Yun Fu glanced over. He casually picked one up. You're healthy. Getting a test. What for? A kidney. Then, just as he was about to look at the others, Fang Yuan's voice came from behind. Dad. He approached in his wheelchair. His face was very pale. He tugged on Van Fu's clothes. Dad, don't be mad at him. He just wants you to care more about him. You've been with me for so long. It's normal for him to be unhappy. Go to him. I am fine. After speaking, Fang Yuan weakly clutched his chest and started gasping for air again. Van Fu saw this scene. He immediately threw down the test report in his hand. You, foolish child, you're already in this state. T-Shay's the older brother, yet he doesn't think of ways to help. He even fakes being sick to vie for affection. What's the point of listening to him? Besides, if it weren't for him, would you have been born with this illness? A loving father and a filial son. What a beautiful picture. My heart has long been numb. Behind me, Misai walked out of the examination room. Seeing this scene, her expression changed completely. She quickly went forward and picked up the test results. Then, without a word, she pulled me back into the room. As soon as we entered, a stack of reports was thrown at me. Misai's voice was very low. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Didn't you? Did you deliberately do it in front of Fang Yuan, dropping the test results, wanting him to see the contents inside, to make him feel guilty, and then refuse the surgery? Van Mo, you are so vicious. Her cold words were like a sledgehammer to my heart. I lowered my head and smiled bitterly. If you say so, then so be it. Whatever I say is useless anyway, as long as it involves Fang Yuan. MI will lose all reason. The relatives, by my side, my lover, even my daughter, only believe Fang Yuan. It's useless for me to explain. I silently returned to the bed. Is there anything else you need? Misai was silent for a moment. Then her gaze fell on the bedside table. On the sketchbook that Zi Cha had ruined, Fang Yuan has one wish before his surgery. That is to appear on the runway as a designer. Didn't you just receive an invitation for next year's show? Give your spot to Fang Yuan. I looked up in surprise. You know, this is my dream too. How long have I worked for this? Now you're telling me to give my spot to him. On what grounds? I can't agree. Misei's brows furrowed again. It's just one spot. What's the big deal? No. Fang Yuan is different from you. He's afraid of the surgery. He wants to fulfill a small wish before going under the knife. You are his older brother. You can't even do this for him? I clenched my fists. How could she say it so lightly? As if all my efforts were insignificant. As long as Fang Yuan wants it, everything must be given to him. I've already agreed to give him my heart. Now he wants to steal my life's work too? With red eyes, I questioned Misai. My heart felt cold. Outside the door, Fang Yuan's choked sobs could be heard. If you all don't agree, I won't have the surgery. The surgery is so dangerous. What if I get on the operating table and don't make it off? I just want to fulfill one small wish. If you all can't satisfy me, I'd rather just die like this. After hearing this, Van Fu quickly shook his head. Foolish child, how could you say such things? Dad agrees with you. I agree with you. After speaking, Van Fu walked up to me. He ordered, this time, you have to give him the spot. His tone was not at all negotiable. I don't want to give in. The organizers invited me. That is my life's work. Van Fu's face immediately darkened. He shouted loudly. Fang Yuan is your biological younger brother. Can you not be so selfish? Are you deliberately trying to force him to his death to be happy? My eyes turned red. Stubbornly refusing to compromise, Van Fu repeatedly said, fine. Finally, he took out his phone. Talking back to me. Are you not going to listen? Don't even think about keeping that damn company. Believe it or not, I can immediately have someone buy it out. Your company. Isn't it your life's work? Think it over. Is the company more important, or is one spot more important? I looked at him in disbelief. This is my father, using my weakness to hurt me again, forcing me to compromise. My fists clenched tightly. I knew Van Fu could do what he said. Mei Zai also chimed in from the side. You can still get a spot in the next show. Give it to Fang Yuan this time. Stop being so stubborn. I shed tears, but then I suddenly laughed. Looking at the people in front of me, they were all my closest relatives. Wife, relatives. My child was also on Fang Yuan's side. Fine. Give it up. After saying that, I looked at everyone. Are you all satisfied now? Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. They turned their heads to look at Fang Yuan. Only I looked up and closed my eyes, letting the tears fall uncontrollably. The light in my eyes gradually dimmed. Finally, it was extinguished completely. When night fell, Mei Zai returned with a bowl of porridge. It was the seafood porridge that I liked. The aroma was rich, but I had no appetite at all. I just lay on the bed, numb, in the trash can. They were the design sketches I had thrown away myself. Mei Zai personally brought the porridge to my lips. I still didn't react. I just coldly turned my head away. After a long silence, Mei Zai put the porridge down. Then eat it yourself. The room fell silent again. I looked at the bowl of porridge on the table. With a sweep of my hand, I threw it straight into the trash can. The next day, I saw Fang Yuan waiting for me in the hallway. His eyes were full of smugness. Brother, what's the use of your talent? In the end, the opportunity is still mine. No matter how hard you try, it's all in vain. As long as it's something I want, Mom, Dad, and even Mei Zai will present it to me. You've never enjoyed this kind of treatment, have you? Fang Yuan said as he burst into laughter. It was filled with a chilling malice. I wonder, after your surgery, will you still have a chance to see me on the runway? That look clearly showed he understood everything. He knew everything. I looked at him coldly. I only said one sentence. Even if you get on stage, with your skill level, you'll only become a laughingstock. Fang Yuan's expression immediately darkened. With no one around, his expression was no longer an act. He sneered. If you have time to worry about me, you should worry more about that good friend of yours. I hear ES in trouble right now. My expression changed. What do you mean? Fang Yuan feigned innocence. You don't know yet? Your good brother, Keijin. He came specifically to mock me. I just told Dad I don't like him. It seems Dad has already sent someone to deal with him. Although it's a bit tricky. You know Dad's methods. He can just pin a random tax crime on him. He won't be getting out of prison for 8 or 10 years. I couldn't hold back anymore. I swung my hand and slapped him. You lunatic. If you have a problem, come after me. Why are you targeting my friend? Fang Yuan laughed carelessly. Who asked you to care about him? You don't have anything left for me to target, so I can only make things difficult for him. If anyone's to blame, it's you. You're the one who harmed your good brother. What did I do? Fang Yuan smiled with an innocent look, but behind it was a chilling cruelty. I raised my hand, but this time I didn't bring it down. Was pushed away forcefully. Mi Chai hurried over, angrily shielding Fang Yuan behind her. What are you doing? She looked at me angrily. Her eyes were filled with fury. How did Fang Yuan provoke you? You want to lay a hand on him again. In an instant, Fang Yuan started coughing non-stop. Sister Mi Chai, it's not his fault. It was me who accidentally said something that angered him. Hit me to vent. It's okay. It doesn't hurt. Fang Yuan suddenly pretended to have trouble breathing, as if he was so uncomfortable he was about to die. MICAE expression turned even uglier. Yunmo, are you crazy? Why would you attack Fang Yuan? Look at how you've agitated him. But I had no mind to pay attention to her at all. I only had one thought right now. That was to call Ki Zhen first, to tell him to be on guard. Then I just took out my phone, and Mi Chai knocked it out of my hand. Do you even have a heart? Still thinking about playing on your phone at a time like this? Fang Yuan can't handle being agitated. The phone fell to the ground. The screen shattered instantly. I picked it up to check, and found it was completely broken. It couldn't be turned on again. MICAE paid no attention to her own actions. She grabbed my hand with one hand. She said loudly, Fang, Yuan's condition has worsened. The surgery must begin now. Only then did I realize Fang Yuan was clutching his chest, gasping for breath, putting on an act of being in great pain. He tightly gripped the corner of Mi Chai's clothes, but his eyes were looking at me, triumphantly and provocatively. He was clearly pretending. I struggled free, intending to go to the nurse's station to make a call, but I was held tightly by people. My KI had called over. I had absolutely no chance to resist. Are you trying to go back on your word? We don't need to wait anymore. The surgery must happen immediately. I was dragged to the operating room, unable to resist. I could only beg Mi Kai. I won't go back on my word. Just let me make a phone call first. I have something urgent. I wouldn't listen at all, thinking I was stalling for time. I was helplessly pressed onto the operating table. Anxious tears fell. I kept begging. Mi Chai, I am begging you. Just let me make one call. Just one call. I am begging you. But Mi Chai said coldly, administer the anesthetic. The cold liquid was injected into my body. I knew I had no chance left. My eyelids grew heavier and heavier. The world before me grew darker and darker. In the final moment before losing consciousness, I looked at the woman before me. Tears fell from the corners of my eyes. Mi Chai, I hate you. In the darkness, the cold sound of the system echoed in my mind. Unfortunately, the favorability score is insufficient. The host has failed the mission for the 3rd time. This body is about to die. As per the host's wish, we have selected a new target for you, awaiting the right opportunity for rebirth. Along with a cold alarm from the heart monitor, the nurse's voice rang out. Doctor, the heart has been successfully retrieved. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Only Mi Kai's hands suddenly trembled. A great sense of panic engulfed her. She subconsciously looked at the person on the operating table. Me, with a peaceful expression, lying there peacefully, not a single breath left. She herself had taken my heart with her own hands. Mi Chai's eyes suddenly became a little flustered. until someone beside her gave her a push. Dr. M.I., shouldn't we transplant it into the patient now? Only then did she react. Yes, Fang Yuan was saved. Isn't this what she had always wanted? After a 4-hour surgery, MICI walked out of the operating room. Van's parents were waiting anxiously outside. Even Qian and Zichao came. Everyone was concerned about Fang Yuan's condition. MICA said the surgery was very successful. Van's parents were immediately moved to tears of joy. Qian and Zichao also jumped for joy. No one cared where I had gone. In the operating room, Fang Yuan was wheeled out. Mother Van followed the nurse to the ward first. Father Van stayed behind to thank Mi Chai. He had tears in his eyes. Holding Mi Chai's hand, Xiao Mi, if you hadn't found a new heart donor this time and personally operated on Fang Yuan, his surgery probably wouldn't have gone so smoothly. If I had known, I should have let Fang Yuan marry you. Actually, he told you back then. He trailed off. Father Van sighed again. Never mind. Let's not talk about it. Can you tell me who donated this heart? I want to go and properly thank their family. Just as he finished speaking, the operating room door behind them opened. A nurse wheeled me out, covered in a white sheet. As they passed by the two of them, the white sheet was lifted by a gust of wind from the window. A corner revealed a hand with a congenital birthmark. Father Van was stunned. He recognized this birthmark. He instinctively chased after it. Seeing this, Mike quickly blocked him, obscuring Father Van's view. Organ donations must be kept anonymous. That's the rule. Uncle, please don't ask any more. Seeing this, Father Van didn't think much of it. That birthmark was probably just a coincidence. In the hallway, Michai took over from the nurse. She pushed me into the morgue herself. In the cold morgue, she lifted the sheet, looking at me with a pale face. A gruesome wound on my chest. Even though she knew this wasn't a real death, seeing me lying cold in the morgue, Micai's heart still ached with pain, as if she had truly lost me. A belated sorrow spread through her. Michai held my hand, comforting herself. It's okay. You'll come back. You love me so much. You'll definitely come back. Even if you don't want to come back, before the mission is complete, the system won't let you leave me. Chei bowed her head, pressing her forehead against my cold one. She whispered, when you come back, well, live a good life together. Okay. If it were the old me, I would have certainly caressed her eyebrows and said, okay. But now, only endless silence answered her. Based on Michai experience, I would usually return within 3 days. I would change into a different body. And Mikai was confident that, no matter who I became, no matter what identity I took on, as long as I appeared by her side, she would definitely recognize me. Coming out of the morgue, Mikai saw Qian. The girl was standing at the door, looking inside. Her expression was a bit unnatural. Is Dad dead? Mikai simply said, your dad will be back in a few days. Qian said nothing. She walked into the morgue. She lifted the sheet covering me. Even though she was mentally prepared, the girl still turned a few shades paler. The corners of her eyes suddenly turned red. Then, without a word, she turned and ran away. In Fang Yuan's hospital room, the anesthesia was gradually wearing off. He caressed the spot where his heart was. His expression was a bit hazy. Will I be like a normal person from now on? Mik nodded. Fang Yuan immediately shed tears of emotion. He looked at Van's parents. Mom, Dad. Thank you, Sister Michai. The hospital room was filled with a happy atmosphere. Fang Yuan wiped his tears. He suddenly mentioned, my illness is cured. He must be very happy too. I want to tell him. Mici expression changed slightly. Yun Fu snorted disdainfully. Who knows where the hell he went off to die. Ever since you went into the operating room, we haven't seen his face since. He doesn't treat you as a brother at all. A knowing look flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes, but he still asked Michai, feeling uneasy. Sister Mikai, is he angry with me? Mikai didn't know what to say. No matter how she explained it, the death of my identity was already set in stone. She didn't answer. Instead, she comforted him. You should get some good rest. Then she left the hospital room. Night fell, and Yun Fu went out for a smoke. He saw a nurse cleaning the hospital room next door. The room was completely empty. Yun Fu couldn't help but ask, where's the person from this room? The nurse shook her head, saying she didn't know. I am just here to clean the room. Are you the patient's family member? He seems to have left a piece of paper on the bed. As she spoke, the nurse handed him a piece of paper. Yun Fu took it to look. It turned out to be a compatibility test report. The results on it showed that my heart and Fang Yuan's were a perfect match. In the cold night, Yun Fu's hand holding the cigarette trembled. What is this? The nurse thought he didn't understand. She explained, it's a matching report, sir. The donor and recipient are a very good match. Yun Fu's hands began to tremble. He couldn't believe it. Flipping the paper over and over, he read it carefully from top to bottom. On it, my name and Fang Yuan's were written clearly, unmistakably. In that moment, he recalled the tests I had done. He recalled the test reports dropped at the door of the hospital room. He recalled the body covered in a white sheet outside the operating room. The wind blew the white sheet. Why did the birthmark on that hand look so familiar? So familiar. Yun Fu's hand trembled. The paper fell to the ground. He staggered away. He turned and headed for the morgue. He nearly fell on the way. When he pushed open the door to the morgue, he saw me lying silently on the mortuary slab. The color drained completely from Yun Fu's face. He staggered and fell. Michi rushed over to support him. blocking his view. She was about to explain. Yun Fu pushed her away. Finally, he broke down and asked, "What is going on?" Mik was silent. Yun Fu questioned, "You said you found a new heart source." The new heart source was Yun Mo. "What have you done?" Yun Fu screamed in despair. Mi Chai explained, "Fang Yuan's condition was very bad. It was too hard to wait for a heart source. So you let Yun Mo die? No matter how bad he was still my son, and your husband." Mi Chai looked up at Yun Fu. This was the only way to save Fang Yuan. If you were the one who had to choose, you. The morgue fell silent. No answer was the best answer. Yun Fu staggered back a few steps. Realizing something, finally, covering his face in pain, he said to my corpse, "I am sorry. Dad is sorry." Mikai said nothing. She leaned silently against the palinade wall. After a long time, she finally spoke. "I am the one who wronged him. I've bought plane tickets to go abroad. When Fang Yuan is discharged from the hospital, I will take his ashes and leave this place. You know, he didn't want to see you people." After speaking, Mi Chai turned and left, after many days, returning to the familiar house. Mi Chai was still in a daze. After all, I had lived with her for 8 years. There were traces of me everywhere in the house. Our wedding photo is still on the wall. I am smiling brightly in the photo, so full of life. Mici felt uncomfortable. She went downstairs, planning to buy a few things. As she walked through the neighborhood, the auntie downstairs asked, "Xiao Mi, I haven't seen Xiao Mo lately." Mi Chai didn't know how to answer. He went back to his hometown. What did he go back for? Last time, he told me that staying up late is bad for your health. He asked me to bring you a hen when I went back to the village to make some nourishing soup. I've brought the chicken back. Did he forget? It's okay. You can take it. Mici looked at the chicken being handed to her. Suddenly, her emotions were in turmoil. "Thank you," Michai said, then went upstairs in silence. The big house was eerily silent. She wasn't a talkative person. She was usually quiet at home before too, but I was always talkative. I detail her about the little things that happened every day. Most of the time, she found it annoying. Now that this voice was gone, she finally realized. It turns out silence can also be a form of torture. In a daze, the door opened. Mi Chai reflexively stood up. "Yunmo, you're back?" The words had barely left her mouth when she froze. Qian, standing at the door, was also stunned. Her face darkened as she threw her school bag on the floor. She spoke up. "Mother Miche, you don't want to cook." So she took out her phone to order food. After one bite of the takeout, Qian put down her chopsticks. "It's awful. Why isn't Dad back yet?" Mi Chai knew her daughter was a picky eater, but she didn't expect her to be this picky. She decided to call a maid to cook tomorrow. "Just eat this tonight." Qian didn't touch her chopsticks again. She turned and went back to her room. The next day, Qian slept until noon. She reflexively shouted, "Dad didn't wake me up again." As she said it, she remembered her dad was gone. Qian suddenly fell silent. She took a bite of the bun the maid had made and spat it all out. "I want to eat Dad's cooking. This tastes different from Dad's." The living room was silent. Mi Chai said nothing. Qian also seemed to realize something. She stopped making a fuss. After a long while, Qian's eyes turned red. "Mom, when is Dad coming back? Didn't you say he'd be back in a few days?" "Yes, 3 days. Based on Mikai experience, I would reappear after 3 days. Tomorrow would be the 3rd day after my surgery, so they just needed to wait 1 more day." Michai comforted her daughter. As that day approached, Mici didn't feel happy. Instead, she began to worry. During these 3 days, she felt my absence more keenly than anyone, but there was nothing she could do. She could only wait passively. Finally, the 3rd day arrived. She stayed awake with her eyes open until 12 o'clock. Michai wasn't sleepy. She casually threw on a coat and went out. She had no destination in mind. She just wanted to see some people. Among those people might be me. But from midnight to early morning, Mici wandered all over the area near her home and the places I used to frequent. She didn't meet anyone who looked like me. The panic in her heart grew larger and larger. It clearly wasn't like this before. The previous 2 times I changed my identity, I quickly returned to her side, and as long as I appeared, no matter what appearance I took on, Mici would recognize me immediately. Until the sun rose, she hesitantly went to the hospital. Fang Yuan was recovering very well. His face was starting to regain its color. He could get out of bed and walk around. When he saw Mi Chai, his eyes sparkled like stars. "Mi Kai, you've come to visit. Is that you?" Mi Kai looked around distractedly. There were many people in the hospital. She was trying to distinguish who I was, until Fang Yuan tugged her a couple of times. Only then did she come back to her senses. She said a few words perfunctorily. Suddenly, a person with a similar figure to mine appeared before her eyes. Mi Kai reflexively stood up, but her sleeve was grabbed by Fang Yuan. He asked Mi Chai with a wronged expression, "Why aren't you paying attention to me?" Mi Kai forcefully pulled away. She called out loudly, "Yunmo." She ran and grabbed the other person's hand. It was just a person passing by for a checkup who was startled. He pulled his hand away. "Who are you?" It was like a bucket of cold water had been poured over her head. Mi Chai stood frozen on the spot, watching the person's back as they left. She kept thinking, "Where are you? Why haven't you appeared again?" Mother Yun hurried over. She said disapprovingly, "Xiao Mi, what's wrong with you? Xiao Yuan just had surgery. Are you trying to cause trouble for him?" Fang Yuan immediately said with a wrong tone, Mom, don't blame me, Chai. She's just worried about him. She doesn't know where he has gone. Mother Yun's face darkened. Who knows where he went? Such a major surgery for you, and he doesn't even show up. He might as well just die outside. As soon as these words were spoken, Mi Tei's eyes instantly turned bloodshot. Shut up. Mother Yun was startled. It was the first time she had seen me shy like this. Was I wrong? Ever since Xiao Yuan's surgery was completed, has he shown any concern? He is just a selfish, cold-hearted person. I shouldn't have given birth to him back then. It's best if he never appears again in this life. Mi Tei's expression grew uglier and uglier. She clenched her fists. She whispered, Impossible. He will definitely come back. Mi Tei's expression made Mother Yun a little scared. She didn't understand what was happening. Upon returning home, Qian asked worriedly. Mi Tei ignored her. She went straight into my room. Only then did she discover the photo that used to be on the bedside table was now just an empty frame. The only photo of the two of them was torn to shreds. The pieces were in the trash can. I tore it before I left. Mi Tei suddenly shuddered, as if she understood something. She squatted down and poured out all the pieces. Her hands trembling, she tried to piece it back together. But no matter what, it couldn't be restored. In the dark of night, Mi Tei lay on the floor of my room. Vaguely, it was as if she saw me in the afterlife. The system was showing me images of Mi Tei. Do you want to go back and see? The system asked me hesitantly. I appeared beside Mi Kai as a spirit, as if she sensed something. Mike looked around. Yunmo, have you come back? I didn't answer. In reality, even if I spoke, Mi Kai wouldn't be able to hear me. I just looked at her, a little confused. I didn't understand why her reaction was so strong. I thought that after I died, Mi Tei would at most be a little upset with Fang Yuan's presence. She would quickly forget everything and stay by Fang Yuan's side. But in these 3 days, she rarely appeared beside Fang Yuan. The system asked me, Host, her favorability score for you has now reached 100%. You just need to appear before her, and you can immediately complete the mission. Are you still changing the mission target? In the darkness, Mi Kai whispered. I regret it. Her voice was a little self-mocking and choked. I regret it. I really regret it. Can you come back? Only silence answered her. After a long time, I opened my mouth. Change it. I can't trust Mi Kai anymore. Besides, the damage I've suffered can't just disappear. Neither can the pain in my heart. On what grounds does Mi Kai deserve to be forgiven? A white light flashed. I knew I was about to receive a new life. I closed my eyes without any lingering attachment until the next day. Mi Kai finally got up, looking distraught. Chan was sitting in the living room, her eyes red. Although she was mature for her age, she was still just a 7-year-old child. From initial indifference to anger, then to sorrow. Chen asked chokingly, Dad, how does he not want me anymore? Doesn't he want Mom anymore? Mi Tei's heart felt like it was being squeezed. She whispered, That's not it. But her voice was too soft, too faint, too lacking. She went to the hospital. Mi Tei went to the morgue again. It was the only thing she could hold on to. When she went inside, she found it empty. Mi Kai, as if going mad, shouted, Where is he? Where is Yunmo? The young nurse was quite scared. She stammered, He has been taken to the funeral home for cremation. Mi Tei suddenly ran out frantically. Fang Yuan came over and tried to pull her back, but he was pulled to the ground. Mi Tei, Fang Yuan called out loudly. Mi Tei steps faltered for a moment when she saw Fang Yuan. Her eyes were full of pain and conflict. Sister Mi Kai, what's wrong with you? Fang Yuan asked, but Mi Kai didn't answer. After hesitating for a long time, she still turned and left. When she reached the hospital entrance, Qi Zhen was with the funeral home staff, putting my body into the vehicle. Mi Tei suddenly rushed forward and pushed everyone away. Get lost. Who let you touch him? Qi Zhen glared at her with red eyes. Yunmo is already dead. Do you still not want him to rest in peace? Mi Tei's body trembled. Then she shook her head. No, he's not dead. He will come back. She didn't know how to find me again. She could only deceive herself by keeping my body, hoping that one day there might be a miracle. Qi Zhen couldn't help but slap her hard across the face. What right do you have to say such things? Why is Yunmo lying here? Isn't it because of you? What are you pretending for now? His words were like knives cutting her heart. Mi Tei trembled all over. She bowed her head and sobbed. She couldn't refute it. From behind, Mother Yun arrived, wondering, what on earth is going on? Why are you causing a scene at the hospital entrance? After speaking, Mother Yun then noticed the funeral home vehicle beside them. There was a corpse on it, because it was completely covered. Mother Yun didn't know it was me. She just grimaced in disgust. She continued to question Mi Kai. Xiao Yuan is feeling a bit unwell. He wants you to come check on him. Why don't you care at all? To think I once thought you were a good kid. I wanted Xiao Yuan to marry you. Beside them, Qi Zhen sneered, stealing the wife of your eldest son for your younger son. You truly are a great mother. His words were filled with sarcasm. Mother Yun's expression changed. Instantly. I remember now. You're Yunmo's friend, right? This is my family's business. What does it have to do with you? Besides, for all these days, where the hell has Yunmo gone off to die? He doesn't show up himself and lets you cause trouble here. You tell him, if he has any guts, he should just die outside and never come back in his lifetime. Qi Zhen's eyes turned red with anger. Then he turned his head to look at Mi-chai. He sneered through gritted teeth. It seems you've hidden it quite well. Mother Yun didn't understand what these words meant. Fang Yuan hurriedly ran over from behind and grabbed Mother Yun, wanting to take her away. Mom, I am not feeling well. Take me home to rest. Mother Van immediately lost focus on anything else. She just wanted to take Fang Yuan away. Qi Zhen blocked him with one hand, standing in front of the two of them, exposing Fang Yuan's deceptive face. Why are you in such a hurry to take your mother away? Are you afraid she'll find out the truth? Fang Yuan's face started to turn pale. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Mother Van felt something was wrong, but she still sided with Fang Yuan. She questioned Qi Zhen. What exactly are you trying to say? Qi Zhen asked. Aren't you curious? Where did the heart in your son's body come from? Mother Van answered without thinking. Of course, it was donated by a kind person. Qi Zhen laughed angrily. How hard it is to wait for an organ donation. Do I need to remind you? Others have been in the hospital for so long and still haven't found a heart. How did Fang Yuan get one as soon as he was hospitalized? Mother Van's face turned a few shades paler. She shouted, What nonsense are you talking about? No matter how much I dislike Van Mo, I couldn't possibly have taken out his heart. Qi Zhen looked towards Mi-chai. Is it slander or not? Ask your good daughter-in-law. Mother Van's face grew paler and paler. She looked at Mi-chai. Mi-chai just lowered her head. She looked at Fang Yuan again. Fang Yuan shook his head frantically, saying he didn't know anything. Mother Van's chest heaved. Her mouth was still refuting it. Impossible. How could it be? You're talking nonsense. Before she finished speaking, Qi Zhen had already pulled her to the front of the hearse, unzipping the body bag. My corpse was revealed. Father Van rushed over, but he was still a step too late. Mother Van screamed. Her whole body went limp, staring wide-eyed at the person in front of her. Let go. Father Van ran over, catching the unsteady Mother Van, intending to cover her eyes, but it was too late. Mother Van's eyes were wide open, staring in disbelief at the person before her. Her mouth was open for a long time, unable to speak. She felt it was hard to breathe. She only managed to stand by leaning on Father Van. Something in her mind seemed to snap. She muttered, How could this be? How? Qi Zhen sneered. Take a good look. Fang Yuan's life was exchanged for your other son's. These words were like a knife to the heart. Mother Van couldn't take it anymore. She let out a tragic cry and fainted. Fang Yuan's expression was not much better than Mother Van's. Qi Zhen walked up to him. Fang Yuan backed away in fear, finally leaning against the wall, looking at him in terror. I don't know. I really don't know anything. Still pretending at a time like this. Still pretending. Qi Zhen wished he could tear his face apart, but that would be too easy for him. He looked at Fang Yuan in front of him, saying word by word, You think you've won? Van Mo was killed by you, your parents, your children. Everyone will remember this truth. You will forever be a sinner. You'll never be able to hold your head high in front of Van Mo, and no one will favor you unconditionally anymore. Only then did real fear appear on Fang Yuan's face. His legs gave out. Seeing this, Qi Zhen turned and pushed me into the vehicle. Then he asked the devastated Mi-chai beside him, I've already found a grave for Van Mo. You will never find it in your lifetime. Don't ever appear before his grave. You'll dirty his sight. And Mi-chai looked as if her soul had been drained. She stood there in agony. Is he really not coming back? She didn't believe it, looking around. Ignoring the strange looks from everyone around her, she shouted loudly, Isn't there a system? Isn't it that before the mission is complete, he can't leave? Why? System, come out. Why didn't he come back this time? Passers-by saw her like this. They just thought she was crazy. Fuang Vian also looked at her with a bit of fear. He spoke cautiously. Mi-chai suddenly pushed him away. Her eyes were bloodshot. She stared intently at Fuang Vian's chest. Beating inside was Van Mac's heart. It was all because of Fuang Vian. If it weren't for this surgery, Van Mac wouldn't have disappeared. Nothing would have happened. There had never been a time when she regretted something as much as she did now. Fuang Vian was startled. He kept backing away. He felt Mi-chai's gaze, as if she wanted to rip his heart out. When he was taken back to his hospital room, Fuang Vian's face was completely pale. Van's mother had woken up, but she was still dazed. When she saw Fuang Vian on the bed, she suddenly called out, Van Mac. Fuang Vian's expression immediately turned very ugly. He trembled for a moment. Suddenly, he said softly, It's all my fault. I am the one who harmed him. I'll give the heart back to him. I'll pay for it with my life. After speaking, Fuang Vian grabbed the fruit knife by the bed, intending to stab himself in the chest. Van Fu hurriedly stopped him. Van's mother, who had always doted on him before, now just watched coldly. Van Mac is already dead. Who are you putting on this act for? Fuang Vian's whole body trembled. Van's mother had never spoken to him with such words before. These cold, bitter words fell upon him. It turned out to be so painful. Van's father also said with red eyes, This is Van Mac's heart. You can harm yourself anywhere else, but you must not touch it. Fuang Vian looked at them in astonishment. The two people who once loved him the most had changed their attitudes. He and I from before had switched places. In a panic, Fuang Vian saw Mi-chai at the door. Sister Mi-chai, do you blame me too? Do you also think I caused my brother's death? But I didn't know anything. Why are you all blaming me? Fuang Vian's eyes were red. He felt extremely wronged. If it were before, everyone in the room would have rushed to comfort him. But now, no one made a move. MICI just looked at him and asked, "Do you really not know?" Phuong Vien was completely abandoned by everyone. Van's mother no longer had the heart to take care of Phuong Vien. Her mind was in a state of panic all day. The next day, she was sent home. Van's father could no longer worry about Phuong Vien day and night. He found an excuse to return to the company. Mitei's mental state also worsened day by day. She didn't believe I was dead. All day, she tried every way to find me, searching for the system to demand an explanation, until her friend couldn't stand it anymore and took her out for a drink to drown her sorrows. Across the street, she happened to see a man standing under a streetlight. His mannerisms and gestures were just like mine. Michai suddenly stood up. She ran outside without a second thought. Cars were speeding by on the road. Michai was pulled back by her friend, just avoiding an accident. But when she looked across again, the figure was gone. Michai was anxious. Without taking time to think whether what she saw was real or a hallucination, she rushed across the street to search. At this moment, I was already Chu Mu Van, changed into a younger body. I am in a coffee shop waiting for my new conquest target. She is also the arranged marriage partner for this body, the system told me. This mission isn't difficult. Consider it compensation. But before I could wait for the other person, a sudden figure appeared, startling me. Van Mac, it's you. Michai chased me to the coffee shop. She saw me sitting by the window. The longing and emotions of many days came pouring out. My whole body froze. Then I quickly reacted. I pushed Michai away. Sorry, I don't know you. Since changing bodies, I haven't seen Michai again. And I haven't intentionally followed news about her. So I didn't know that Michai had become so haggard. The person who used to love cleanliness the most, who even had mysophobia, now reeks of alcohol. There are deep dark circles under her eyes. Her eyes are bloodshot. Tears stream down her face, looking at me with eyes that looked as if she had found a long-lost treasure. I took a step back in surprise. I didn't expect that Mike would be like this because of my departure. So distraught. Shouldn't she be happy? She clearly has a chance to be with Phuong Vien now. I couldn't understand, and I didn't want to think too deeply about it. I quickly regained my composure and calmly said, "Miss, you must have the wrong person. My surname is Tu, not Van." Seeing the unfamiliar look in the eyes of the person before her, Mici stood there, stunned. How could this be? I couldn't have mistaken the person. Just now, through the glass, I saw the posture of the person inside, the way he drinks coffee. Even his small gestures are just like Van Max. It has to be him. While Michai hesitated, I had already gotten up from my seat. She hurriedly chased after me, but was blocked by bodyguards who appeared. I got into a car. My expression remained cold and distant. Sorry, I really don't know you. Don't look for me anymore. After saying that, the car door closed. The world became quiet. I leaned back in my seat and rubbed my forehead. System. How did she find me? The system said she has been looking for me all this time, going to crowded places, to increase the chances of meeting me again. I fell silent, then sighed. If this were before, knowing Michai cared about me so much, I would surely be ecstatic. But now, I just feel that belated affection is cheaper than dirt. Mici is only regretting it now. It's too late. Returning to the Chu family home. As soon as I walked in the door, I saw Mother Chu rushing over. My dear son, I heard from the bodyguards that you met a psycho when you went out today. Are you okay? Were you scared? Mother Chu looked me up and down, her face full of worry. Only after making sure I was okay did she pat her chest. You scared me to death, in broad daylight. How could you run into a crazy person? I looked at the loving mother before me. A warm feeling welled up in my heart. The system really gave me a good family. My parents love me very much. I have 2 doting older sisters. Even my conquest target is my childhood sweetheart, and she's also my designated marriage partner. Everything is very happy. Remembering the interrupted meeting, I spoke up, but I didn't get to meet DM Yen today. Mother Tu quickly said, "No rush, no rush. Your Aunt Chung and I are very close. I've invited them over for dinner. I'll meet her tonight." I chuckled. In the words of the system and Mother Xiao, Yan Ran is not a bad person. It seems this mission won't be difficult. On the other side, Misai returned home in a daze. She mobilized all resources to find me. Very quickly, Father Yun had an answer. "Xiao Mi, this person is the young master of the Xiao family. What are you looking for him for?" Misai looked at me in the photo. Her trembling fingers said, "No, he is Yun Mo." Father Yun was startled. He just thought Misai had gone crazy. Just as he was about to offer some advice, Misai had already left. A few days later, at a charity gala, I attended as a guest. Beside me was a woman in a fishtail dress, the beautiful and graceful Yan Ran. We appeared at the party together. The rumor about the Xiao and Gu families uniting through marriage was implicitly confirmed. Everyone's eyes were on us, uttering praises like a talented gentleman and a beautiful lady. Only in the corner of the room, Misi stared at this scene. Her eyes were bloodshot. She didn't believe the person before her wasn't me. She downed the glass of wine in her hand. Then she walked towards me. I had just had a few sips of wine. My face was a little warm. I was looking for a quiet place to get some air. I saw Misai in front of me. The slight tipsiness in my head immediately sobered up. I straightened up. Today's Misai, compared to when we met a few days ago, was much more elegant. Perhaps she had come prepared. She walked up to me and spoke politely. "Mr. Xiao." I nodded politely. Misai's eyes kept following me. "Mr. Xiao, You look a lot like someone I know. The night breeze was sobering. I asked her. Who? My husband. I suddenly burst out laughing. Before, Misai never liked to admit I was her husband in front of others, because the moonlight in her heart was Fang Yuan. The only person she wanted to marry was also Fang Yuan, and now she was admitting it in front of me, that her husband was me. Unfortunately, it was too late. I replied politely, then you must have mistaken me for someone else. Misai didn't answer this question. Instead, she said to herself, he loved me very much. In this world, I can't think of anyone who loved me as much as he did. Unfortunately, I didn't like him at first, only because he looked like the person I liked. Did I marry him? The wind blew, and my eyes stung. I didn't understand why Misei was saying these things to me now. What did she mean? Was she reminiscing about the past? But later on, I really fell in love with him. Misai looked straight at me. At first, I saw him as a substitute, but I truly fell in love with him. I could tell the difference between him and others. When I looked at him, I no longer saw him as someone else. My voice was a little hoarse, trying to hide the choke in my voice. So what? What Misai was saying now, in the past 8 years, I had never felt it. Had she ever valued me at all? Misei's eyes were red. Her voice trembled. So I regret it. I regret not seeing my own heart clearly sooner. I regret always hurting you before. I regret doing something irreparable. Yunmo, I regret it. Can you forgive me? Let's start over. I will make it up to you, bit by bit. Let's forget the past, okay? After saying this, Misai grabbed my hand. Her eyes were red as she asked. I could feel her trembling, but my heart was already covered in scars. How could I bear this belated love? I slowly pushed her away. My eyes were filled with tears. I showed her the ring on my ring finger. This lady, I don't understand what you mean. I told you my surname is Xiao. I am not your husband. Besides, I already have a fiancé. Mikai's eyes widened. She looked at the ring. Instinctively, she retorted, impossible. I asked back, why is it impossible? Mikai suppressed her emotions, because you like me. You obviously like me. How could you be engaged to someone else? This is fake, right? Are you trying to provoke me on purpose? I know I was wrong. It'll never hurt you again. Can you take off the ring? As she spoke, Michai was almost begging me humbly. I suddenly felt my eyes getting a little misty. She knew everything. She knew how much I used to like her, how much pain I endured. She just never cared. When I loved Mikai the most, I only received endless pain. Now Miechai is standing in front of me. What's the point of saying all this? I spoke softly. The husband you speak of loves you so much. So, where is he now? Michai froze on the spot. Yunmo is dead. No one knows better than her. Yunmo died on her operating table, died at her hands. The heavy truth made her suffer. It made her not dare to look directly at the person in front of her. She even felt that she had no right to beg me for anything, but she was unwilling to accept it. I hurt him. Now I regret it. I just want his forgiveness. You tell me, how can I get his forgiveness? As Michai spoke, it was as if she was about to fall apart. The lounge door opened again. Yanran walked in and noticed the strange atmosphere. Seeing her, I immediately gave a faint smile. I hugged Yanran in front of Mikai. This lady mistook me for her husband. She's asking me, after hurting her husband, if it's still possible to ask for forgiveness. Yanran, do you think her husband should forgive her? Yanran looked at me deeply. If a woman truly loves a man, she wouldn't have the heart to hurt him. Once the hurt is done, there's no right to talk about forgiveness, because the damage has already been done. Time can't go back to before it happened. Someone who hurts the one they love is surely incapable of loving and doesn't deserve to be loved. Every single word. I was exactly what I wanted to say. I looked towards Mikai. Miss Mai, do you understand now? It's no use crying over spilled milk. A broken mirror cannot be mended. If you really can't forget him, then you should raise your child well. Consider that an explanation of sorts. If there's one thing I still have ties to, it would only be Qian. After all, she's the child I raised with my own hands. But I won't return to that painful past because of it. I want to start a new life and completely sever the chains of the past. After saying that, I took Yan Ran's hand and left. When we reached the dessert table, I looked at Yan Ran hesitantly for a long time. Then I finally spoke. Are you really not going to ask me anything? Yan Ran's expression was calm. She picked up a small piece of cake for me. When you want to talk, you'll talk. If you don't want to, it's useless for me to force you. Besides, I trust you. The small cake was held out in front of me. Yan Ran's expression was very serious. Whenever you want to tell me, I will slowly listen to your story. I watched her take the cake. Suddenly, I spoke. Yan Ran, let's get married. The wedding date was quickly set. I took another step closer to my new way. Life. As for the Fang family, it was dead silent. Fang Yuan was discharged from the hospital, but he wasn't happy at all. The house was shrouded in a gloomy atmosphere. Every day, Mother Yun would sometimes stare blankly while hugging my photo. That day, Mother Yun went to my old room again. She started cleaning the few old things I had left behind. I had very few things in this house. Before, when the Yun family kicked me out, I packed up most of my belongings. Mother Yun had someone throw out everything that was left. Some scattered items were thrown into the old storage room. When she found out I was dead, Mother Yun rummaged through everything in the old storage room and put it back in my old room. She even had someone custom make the bed and decorations I used to have to redecorate the room, just like it was before, as if I were still here. When Fang Yuan saw her like this, he felt aggrieved and resentful. He went to the door of my room and said in a hoarse voice, "Mom, come down and eat something." Mother Yun just replied coldly, "I am not eating." Fang Yuan ran over, knelt down, and looked at Mother Yun. "Mom, it's all my fault. Don't harm yourself anymore. I am the one who wronged my brother. You can't go on without eating." Mother Yun pushed him away again and slapped him hard across the face. "It is your fault," Mother Yun screamed, shouting at Fang Yuan. "If it weren't for you, Van Mo wouldn't have had to die. My Van Mo." Fang Yuan fell to the ground, covering his face in disbelief. Mother Yun had never hit him before. Now, she hit him because of me. Fang Yuan couldn't hold back his anger anymore. He questioned, "What does it have to do with me? I wasn't the one who performed the surgery. I wasn't the one who suggested it. Didn't you all say that my heart condition was caused by him? So what if he gave me a heart? Aren't I the son you love the most? Why are you hitting me for a despicable person and scolding me?" Mother Yun's face turned red with anger. She was choked up and couldn't speak. Father Yun, who had just come home, heard the noise and ran in to support Mother Yun. "You bastard. We really have spoiled you too much. No matter how bad Van Mo was, he was still your biological brother. He lost his life for you. What right do you have to say these things?" Fang Yuan looked at them in disbelief. Just like before, he clutched his chest and loudly claimed he was having trouble breathing, only to receive a cold stare from Father Yun. "Your illness is cured. This heart now belongs to Van Mo. It's very healthy. Putting on an act like that, who would believe it?" Fang Yuan's expression completely contorted. Clearly, in his calculations, after the surgery was over, he should have smoothly gotten everything. His parents' favoritism. MIKI. Confession of love. The truth was, he had lost everything. Why is it like this? Fang Yuan was resentful. He clenched his fists tightly. Meanwhile, regarding the Xiao and Jiyu families, the news of the two families becoming in-laws quickly spread among their circle. When Mikai heard the news, her eyes turned red. She, who had never liked to drink, got completely drunk at a bar and ended up lying on the floor, muttering my name and the words, "I am sorry." The once warm and happy home was now just a cold, empty place. On the engagement day, Yan Ran and I appeared together, receiving everyone's blessings. I toasted with people one by one. After a few rounds, I felt a bit dizzy, so I told Yan Ran and turned to go to the resting room. Just as I reached the lounge, I was pounced on by a figure. "Dad, it's Chan Qian." At this moment, she was completely different from her usual cold and arrogant self. Her eyes were red as she tightly gripped the hem of my shirt, as if she was afraid I would disappear. "Dad, you don't want me anymore, do you?" Seeing Chen Qian, my heart instinctively tightened. She is my daughter. After all, I sighed. I took a tissue to wipe Chen Qian's tears. Then I straightened her messy clothes. I looked towards Mizai. "Is this how you take care of her? Her shoes are dirty. Her clothes aren't right for the season. Her hair looks like it hasn't been washed in days. Most importantly, she's lost a lot of weight." Mizai saw me. She finally admitted, "I was too foolish. I couldn't do these things well. You've taken care of Qian since she was little. She misses you very much." I looked at her in silence. I had already guessed Mizai's purpose for bringing Qian to find me. It was nothing more than wanting to use our child to tie me down. But I had already decided to let go of the entire past. I looked at the person in front of me and said gently, "You're a smart child. You're also very good at taking care of yourself. Even without a father, you can still look after yourself." Qian Shan immediately started crying, sobbing, "No, I don't want to. Aren't you my dad? Why won't you take care of me? Why don't you want me? Is it because I wasn't good? I know I was wrong. It'll be good from now on. Dad, please don't abandon me." Don't abandon Mom. After all, she was still just a 7-year-old child. Losing her father would surely be painful. I gently stroked her hair. Then I looked towards Mizai. "You shouldn't have brought her here. This will only hurt Qian more deeply." Mizai's heart and eyes only had me in them. She said in a hoarse voice, "Even if it's just for the child, can we get back together? You don't have to forgive me. It's okay to hate me for the rest of your life. Just don't leave me." I looked at her like that, knowing that if I didn't make things clear once and for all, Mizai would not give up. I said softly, "Mizai, you're just not used to it. We lived together for 8 years. It's normal to not be used to it. Time will quickly erase everything. Fang Yuan is also waiting for you." "It's not like that." Mizai suddenly became emotional and shouted, "I love you. I only understand now. I can't be without you." I looked at her with a bitter smile. "Then before? Why did you hurt me time and time again? You knew I asked for nothing from you. I just wanted you to like me. Mizai, you said you liked me long ago. I believe you, but your affection was too cold. Your favorability score for me always stayed at 99%. You always dangled that 1% in front of me." My voice started to tremble. "I am a person. I feel pain. I get tired too. What made you think I would be unconditional?" Mizai shook her head in anguish. Suddenly, her knees went weak. She knelt before me, begging. "It's not like that. I was just scared. I was afraid you were only with me because of the system. I was afraid that once the favorability score was full, you would leave. I can't lose you. I just can't lose you." The painful memories of the past seemed to drown me again. I wiped the tears from my face and pushed Mizai away. But what's happened has happened. Mizai, you have hurt me beyond repair. Don't come to torture me anymore. I just want to start a new life. Seeing the pain on my face, Mizai looked as if she had been dealt a heavy blow. She collapsed pitifully onto the ground. I choked up and said, "Today is my engagement ceremony. If you really feel even a little bit guilty towards me, don't come and ruin my rare moments of happiness, okay?" Michae was completely speechless. She finally understood. The hurt she had caused me was irreparable. I disappeared from the lounge. Beside her, Chan Chan watched everything blankly. In her heart, she understood. From now on, she would never have a father again. Immediately, countless feelings of sadness and pain welled up. The little girl shook her fist at Mikai. "It's because you drove Dad away. I don't have a dad anymore." As she spoke, Qian burst into tears. Michai silently hugged the little girl. Tears fell from the corners of her eyes. "We are all sinners. We have no right to seek forgiveness." On stage, I had returned to normal. I linked arms with the beautiful and graceful Yan Ran. Surrounded by everyone, we walked onto the flower-strewn stage. Mikai watched everything with red-rimmed eyes. That night, she got drunk at a bar again. In the middle of the night, Mikai woke up in pain. She vaguely called a taxi to the hospital. She went to the place where she had operated on me, lying on the cold operating bed. The scene from that day was still clear in her mind. I was pushed onto this bed and injected with anesthesia. He must have been so cold. Tears fell. Mici curled up bitterly. Her chest also began to throb with pain, and so, she slept until the next day. Miche woke up and heard Fang Yuan's voice from outside. "They're crazy. They're all crazy. Just because of one Van Mo. Everyone is against me. What did I do wrong?" The heart was taken out by Michai. "Why are they blaming me? I thought she liked me a lot. I even thought it would be okay to be with her, but now she's blaming me. My parents have gone crazy too. They used to hate Van Mo the most, now that he's dead. On the contrary, I've become the guilty one." Fang Yuan came for a pleasant follow-up appointment. The frustrations of the past few days made him find a deserted hallway to call and complain to a friend. Every word he said was clearly heard by Michai inside the operating room. A nonchalant voice came from the other end of the line. "Come on, don't play the victim when you've benefited. You've got a healthy body now. That's more precious than anything else. Tell me the truth. Before your surgery, did you really not know it was your brother's heart?" Mikai's heart suddenly clenched. Fang Yuan let out a cold laugh. Then he slowly said, "I am not an idiot. There was no new heart source before. Suddenly, there's a heart source. I could have guessed. I just pretended not to know. Otherwise, how could I maintain my image? I still wanted to take his heart." After saying that, Fang Yuan coughed once. His life was useless anyway. He already owed me a heart to begin with. It's only right that he gave it to me, creating this situation now. It's so annoying. As soon as the words were spoken, Mi Chai in the operating room couldn't hold back anymore and rushed out. Fang Yuan was startled. Seeing Mi Chai, he reflexively wanted to run, but he was grabbed tightly. "What did you just say?" Fang Yuan's face turned pale. "Nothing, Mi Kai. You must have misheard." Mi Chai's expression was terrible, as if she wanted to eat him alive. "You knew from the beginning that I would take Van Amo's heart for you, right?" Fang Yuan's face was pale, but he still pretended to know nothing. "I don't understand what you're talking about." Mi Kai had completely seen through his lies. She was furious. It was all an act. Liking me was also an act. This frail appearance is also an act. You've been deceiving all of us all along, and I harmed Van Mo for someone like you. I am such a fool. Mi Chai felt as if she had just heard a huge joke. She laughed mockingly at herself. What had she done in the end? Fang Yuan saw that the situation was not good. He hurriedly left the hospital. "Am Kai stood there stunned. Suddenly, she thought of something. She went to her office. She found all of Fang Yuan's medical records and carefully reviewed every item. Suddenly, she burst into laughter, laughing like a madwoman. Then she raised her hand and slapped herself hard across the face. Fang Yuan's previous medical records clearly stated it. His heart condition was actually far from life-threatening. He knew his heart was not in good condition, but he deliberately went skydiving against his doctor's orders. As a result, his heart condition worsened, forcing him to be hospitalized for a heart transplant, even if he needed a transplant. It wasn't so urgent that it had to be done immediately. In the hospital, in order to get the surgery sooner, Fang Yuan deliberately pretended to be in great pain. He even intentionally skipped his medication to find ways to worsen his condition because he knew, no matter what he did, Mi Kai would find a way to help him. In fact, Mi Chai did come up with a way for him, which was to take my heart. Thinking of this, Mi Chai suddenly felt she deserved to be deceived by such a person. For him, she had personally taken out my heart, causing me so much pain. What right did she have to be forgiven? Now she had lost everything. The one who loved her. The one she loved, it was all because of Fang Yuan. What right did he have to use Yun Mo's heart? Thinking of this, Mi Chai walked out of the hospital and drove straight to the Yun family's house. At this time, the Yun family home was shrouded in gloom. Fang Yuan had just gotten home when he saw Father Yun fuming with rage. "Mother." Yun's expression was as dark as ink. Fang Yuan was a little scared. He asked cautiously, "Mom, Dad, why are you all home?" Father Yun suddenly stood up and slapped Fang Yuan hard. This slap was very heavy. Fang Yuan fell heavily to the ground. He still didn't know what had happened. He said in surprise, "Dad, what are you doing?" Father Yun played a recording in front of him. It was what he had just said in the hospital corridor. It had been recorded by Mi Chai and sent immediately to Father Yun's phone. Mother Yun's face was full of disbelief, mixed with pain and disgust. "We always thought you were a good child, but it turns out you were acting all along, deceiving your own parents, causing the death of your own brother." Mother Yun pointed at him and shouted. Every word was drenched in blood. Fang Yuan knew he couldn't hide it anymore. His eyes red with indignation. He yelled, "What does it have to do with me? I didn't force him to die. You were the ones who kicked him out of the Yun family. The one who took his heart was Mi Chai. I didn't do anything. I am the most innocent one. Weren't you the ones who hated him the most before? You wanted him to die outside. So why now that he's really dead? Are you all unhappy? Do you think you're such great parents?" Father Yun was so angry his face turned red. He clutched his chest, his body trembling uncontrollably. But Fang Yuan didn't care at all. With red eyes, he said, "From childhood, you were the ones who told me that my heart condition was caused by Yun Mo. Yun Mo owed me from birth. Mom, you once said you wished you had only given birth to me, right? Now that Yun Mo is dead, his heart is in my body. You can just pretend you only had one child. Can't you do that?" Fang Yuan didn't understand why his parents had changed. It clearly wasn't like this before. Mother Yun was struck numb by this sentence, staring at him with wide eyes. At this moment, she finally understood. The words she had said before would really come true. "It's my fault." Mother Van, with a thud, knelt down. She hugged my photo to her chest and cried in agony. "I am the one who spoiled my child. I am the one who failed as a mother. I am the one who killed my son." Tears fell drop by drop. Mother Van seemed to have aged several decades in an instant. When Mi Sai arrived, she saw Father Van convulsing on the ground, and Mother Van crying nonstop, along with Fang Yuan standing coldly by. He was preparing to leave. Mi Sai blocked him with one hand. "Why did you have to harm Van Mo?" Fang Yuan was angry. He forcefully pushed Mi Sai away. "Who harmed him? The one who harmed him was you. I didn't do anything. You all blame me. In reality, you're the selfish and hypocritical one, narrow-minded and vicious. You should be thanking me. If it weren't for me, his entire body would have been cremated to ashes. Now, at least there's still a heart beating in my body." Mi Sai staggered back 2 steps and chuckled softly. She didn't refute Fang Yuan's words. Instead, she said self-deprecatingly, "That's right. I am selfish and hypocritical, narrow-minded and vicious. It was I who harmed Van Mo. But someone like you, on what basis do you deserve to have Van Mo's heart?" After speaking, Mi Sai grabbed a nearby vase and smashed it hard on Fang Yuan's head. Fang Yuan immediately fell, dizzy. Mi Sai lunged forward and choked him. The feeling of suffocation washed over him. Fang Yuan tried to struggle. His body, which had just undergone surgery not long ago, could not withstand this kind of treatment at all. Soon, his limbs lost their strength. He couldn't fight back. The arrogant look in Fang Yuan's eyes was gone. He said in fear, "I was wrong. I shouldn't have said those things. I didn't mean it." Very quickly, his eyes widened in horror. In Mi Sai's hand was a sharp surgical scalpel. Fang Yuan was so scared his voice trembled. "Mi Sai, I really know I was wrong. Please, calm down a bit." Mi Sai could no longer hear anything. In her mind, Fang Yuan's voice and mine intertwined. One cruelly reminded her how she had hurt her own man. The other was endless mockery, mocking her foolish and laughable actions, mocking her for bringing this upon herself. When she came to her senses, there was a warm patch under her hand. She had ripped out Fang Yuan's heart. Seeing that familiar, warm heart, Mi Sai felt as if she had returned to the day of the surgery. The nurse asked her, "Dr. Li, should we proceed with the transplant now?" Mi Sai objected without a second thought. "No. This heart belongs to Van Mo. I must return the heart to Van Mo." But looking around, she couldn't see me anywhere. She stood up, holding the heart to her chest, wanting to find me. When the police found Mi Sai that night, she was lying in the snow. Beneath her was a pool of fresh blood. Father Van had a stroke and was lying in the villa. Mother Van fainted from the shock. The investigation of the case exposed a live organ donation. It shocked the entire province. The hot search topics exploded that day. When I heard this news, it was already 3 days after the incident. Since the last time I met Mi Sai, I had turned off my phone. I didn't look at any outside news, only because I didn't want to be held back by things from the past. But I unexpectedly learned about it from Father Xiao. The Van Group has gone bankrupt after Mi Sai was arrested. The story of the Van family trading one son's life for another's could no longer be hidden. Public opinion was in an uproar. The hospital under the Van Group was shut down. All related personnel were arrested. The Van Group's stock price plummeted. It quickly declared bankruptcy. Father Van, after suffering a stroke, didn't receive timely medical attention. When he woke up, half of his body was paralyzed. He lay in bed with a twisted mouth and crooked eyes. Even eating and personal hygiene required someone's care. Mother Van suffered a severe shock. Her mind became disordered. She spent all day hugging my photo, refusing to let go. The great Van Group collapsed. Tu Xiu lost his father. His mother from abroad came to take him away. Mik was diagnosed with schizophrenia. She was confined to a mental hospital. The once proud and untouchable genius girl now became a confined mental patient. Countless people gossiped and sighed. When I went to the mental hospital, I saw Mikai sitting there listlessly. She had lost a lot of weight. Her cheeks were sunken. Her hair was also cut short. She no longer had her former aura. Seeing me, Mitei's vacant gaze suddenly focused. "You look like someone I know," I asked. "Like who?" "Like my husband. It's a pity I hurt him. He will never forgive me. Not in this lifetime." As she spoke, Michai both laughed and cried. She kept repeating, "He will never forgive me." I looked at Michai one last time. "Our 8 years of grievances end here. I don't hate you anymore. You shouldn't remember me either. Let's both start over." As I was leaving, I stopped by the social welfare orphanage. After Mikai was confined, Xian was sent to the welfare orphanage. I donated to the orphanage a large sum of money. Standing by the window, I watched Xian downstairs from a distance. Unlike the other children, Xian sat alone to one side, drawing by herself. The director saw this and sighed, "New kids. It's inevitable that they're not used to it, but our teachers are very dedicated. We even have a few autistic children in the orphanage. They've all adapted very well." While we were talking, a few children walked up to Qian and asked, "What are you drawing? Can we draw with you?" In the past, Qian didn't like to play with others, but this time she hesitated for a moment. She nodded. I watched the people below for a long time and said, "From now on, the clinic will donate to the orphanage every year. I will also come by occasionally to see this child. Please help me take good care of her." The director agreed repeatedly. As I was leaving, the director asked, "Aren't you going to see her yourself?" I thought for a moment and shook my head. "Let's not. The past will only bring more sorrow. Seeing that Qian is doing well here, I am already at ease. As for the future, let's just move forward together." From then on, the years passed by.